Hey guys, welcome to another level 1 MCAT prep viewer question. This was sent to me through Facebook. You could also send questions through the Facebook page or even in the comment section here. And also don't forget to subscribe to keep you updated on when the live tutorials are and also when new content gets updated or uploaded. Anyway, let's get started with this question. This question is very similar to the 2018 day 1 and day 2 exam paper question. So it's a double simultaneous equation question. So I'm going to start with the first part. The first part that we have here is that we've got some primary students and secondary students, and altogether we've got 30 of them. So we've got primary, secondary, and then altogether we've got 30 students here. They also tell us what the cost is. So we've got $8 for the primary student, and the cost for the secondary student is $12. And together, the total cost for that is $316. So first, I'm going to write that part here as an equation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put down P for primary students and S for secondary students. So looking at, when I say primary, I'm actually talking about the number of primary students and number of secondary students. So altogether, there's 30 students. So that's the first equation I'm going to get. P plus S is equal to 30. And then the second equation I'm going to get is the cost, which is $8 for primary students plus $12 for secondary students, and this is equal to $316. Now, I want to get rid of one of these variables. You can do substitution, rearrange, whatever it is that you want to do, or elimination. I'm going to do substitution. So I'm going to take this first equation here, and I'm going to rearrange it so P is by itself. And when I do that, I'm going to get P is equal to 30 minus S. And so now that I have this P is equal to 30 minus S, what I'm going to do next is I'm actually going to replace the P in here with 30 minus S. So it's going to be 8 multiplied by 30 minus S, because that's what P is, plus 12S equals 316. So expanding the brackets, I've got 8 times 30, which is 240. 8 times minus S, which is negative 8S, plus 12S, which is equal to 316. So 12S minus 8S is 4S, equals 316. And when the 240 comes to the other side, it's minus 240, which means I've got 4S is equal to 76, and then S is equal to 76 divided by 4, which gives me S is equal to 19. Now, we've figured out what S is. That's the number of secondary students. We've actually got to figure out what the number of primary students is. And so because I have that P is equal to 30 minus S, I can put in P is equal to 30 minus 19, and I can see that the primary students is actually 11 students. So that is just the first part of the question. Now I go to the second part of the question. The second part of the question, it actually says the student can compete. I'm just going to kind of block it out. There we go. Students can actually compete in, that didn't help. Students can compete in one of two events. So a 10K race and a 20K race. It's really annoying that they've actually given you a 10K race and a 20K race, because people can just get confused with it. So I'm going to have to choose a couple of variables, but I'll talk to you guys about it a little bit later on. We also have 3/5 of the entries is in the 10K race, and 1/4 of the entries in the 20K race are primary students. So rather than use numbers, I've actually got to use some letters here, because I don't want to use write an equation with the 10K, because it's very easy to get mixed up with those numbers. So I'm going to do this separately, and I'm going to put down that the 10K race, I'm going to put that as, I can't use P because it's already used. Let's just say, what is it? 10K race, it's usually a quarter marathon, so I'm going to go with a Q. 20K is almost close to a half marathon, so I'm going to go with an H. Okay, because I can't even use T's, because 10 and 20 starts with the same letters, so it's just an annoying question. Anyway, so we got 3/5 of the 10K race and 1/4 of the 20K race are primary students. So we're going to write that down. So we got 3/5 of the 10K race is Q, plus we also have 1/4 of the 20K race, which is H, equals to primary students. Now the primary students, we figured out it was actually 11. Now, if this is the case, remember that this is for primary, right? Now we've got to actually write an equation for the secondary. We know something. We know that 19 students are secondary. Now, if quarter of the students are doing a half marathon, which is the 20K, then it's going to be it's going to be 3/4 for that's actually doing the second from secondary, and 3/5 are doing the quarter marathon. Did I say half a quarter? I hope I said half. But if 3/5 are doing a quarter, then in this side 2/5 are doing the quarter 10K race. So now I need to actually go kind of solve this again. Now in this case, rearranging is going to be a bit of a pain. Substitution is going to be a bit of a pain as well. So what I'm going to use is elimination. Now looking at the values, I really recommend you guys always have a look at the values. When you have 3/5, which is the coefficient of Q, and 2/5, I've actually got to multiply both equations. So I don't want to do that. So the next thing I'll look at is the quarter h and 3/4 h. This one is not too bad because I only need to multiply the top equation by 3 and it will actually end up with 3/4. So that's what I'm going to do. So 3/5 times 3, so I'm actually doing this here. So that, which is going to be 9/5Q. So just let me get rid of that. So that's that part. Then I've got a quarter times 3, which is plus 3/4H. And then I've got 11 times 3, which equals to 33. Now, I'm going to subtract 2/5 Q. But before that, I'm actually going to write that equation down, all right? So I'm going to put down plus 3/4 H, and I'm going to put 19 as well. Now, this is the part I actually talked about in my kind of tutorial as well. Like when you want to eliminate two equations, what you can do is, some people like to do just put the minus in front and they can kind of work through it. But what I tell people is, just to make things easy, take a different colored pen and just change all the signs to opposite of whatever it is. So right now this is 2/5 here is a plus. I'm going to change it to a minus. The 3/4 H is a plus. I'm going to change it to a minus. 33 minus 19. So when I do this, what happens is you've got 9/5 minus 2/5, which equals to 7/5Q. 3/4 H minus 3/4 H is 0. 33 minus 19 is 14. So I can actually solve this. So then Q is equal to, cross multiplying, I've got 14 times 5 divided by 7. So that means Q is equal to 14 divided by 7 is 2. 2 times 5 is 10. So at this point, what I've actually figured out is what Q is. Q is equal to 10. So let me actually go back to the question. The question says, how many primary students will be competing in the 20K race? Now that's actually the half marathon that we're looking at. So we've just figured out what Q is. Q is 10. That means the 10K race, there are 10 students running it. The 20K race, because there are 30 students, there are 20 students running it. Man, this question just keeps giving and giving. Finally, if you have a look at what the question actually asks, the question says, how many primary students will be competing in the 20K race? That's actually 1/4 of the entries in the 20K race. So if you look at it, we've got 20 students entering the 20K race. 1/4 of 20 is equal to 5. Therefore, we can say 5 primary students are running 20K. Yeah, long question, I know, but it was actually requested by somebody, so there we go. All right, guys, that's basically it for this short little video. Well, it's not really short, but this is it. As always, don't forget to like this video and share this video, and also subscribe to keep up to date with some of the newer content and also when the live tutorials will be on. But that's it from me. Also, there should be some playlists popping up. Check them out for some good revision material. Yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching.